Welcome to the Explainer. So, have you ever stopped to think about how the European Union actually works? I mean, really think about it. You've got 27 different countries, dozens of languages, completely different cultures and priorities, and somehow they have to agree on one set of rules for almost 500 million people. It sounds, well, impossible, doesn't it? But there is a system, an incredibly detailed process designed to do exactly that. And it all starts with something simple, an idea. Think about the common phone charger. You know that drawer of tangled cables we all have? The EU decided to fix that. So today, we're going to follow that simple, relatable idea on its long journey through the EU's machinery to see how it becomes a law for everyone. So, first things first, where do these laws even begin their life? Who gets to light the spark? Well, the answer lies with one very important institution. This is the European Commission. You can think of it as the engine room of the EU. Now, the crucial thing to know about the Commission is that it holds the right of initiative. That basically means it's their job, and almost only their job, to draft the laws that get this whole ball rolling. And they're designed to be independent, working for the good of the whole EU, not just one country. But the Commission doesn't just wake up one day and write a law. Nope. Before a single word is formally drafted, they go on a huge fact-finding mission. They talk to experts, they ask the public what they think, and they run something called an impact assessment to figure out all the possible consequences, good and bad. Only after all that homework is done do they actually write up a formal proposal. Okay, so the Commission has done its research and put a proposal on the table. Now what? Well, it gets handed over to two other powerful players, and this, my friends, is where the debate really heats up. And this is really the heart of the EU's democratic system. On one side, you have the European Parliament. These are your MEPs, the people you directly vote for to represent you, the citizen. On the other side, you have the Council of the EU. This is where ministers from your national government go to represent your country's interests. For any law to pass, it needs a green light from both. Not one or the other, both. Now, here's a really interesting thing about the Parliament that you might not know. The members don't sit together by country. So all the French MEPs aren't in one corner and all the German MEPs in another. No way. They organize themselves into big cross-national political families based on their ideology. So a Green from Italy sits with a Green from Finland. This makes the debates about political ideas, not just national squabbles. The Council, on the other hand, is a bit of a shapeshifter. It's not just one room with 27 ministers. Depending on the topic, different ministers show up. So if they're talking about a law on farming, the agriculture ministers all meet. If it's about the economy, the finance ministers get together. It makes sense, right? This way, you always have the actual experts from each country negotiating the details. Okay, so you've got these two powerful bodies, the Parliament, representing the people, and the Council, representing the governments. They often want different things. So how on earth do they manage to agree on a single text? The answer is a process with a kind of boring name, the ordinary legislative procedure. But don't let the name fool you. This is the main event, the backbone of the whole system. And it's built around one simple but powerful idea. Find a consensus. Don't just try to outvote the other side. So how do they do that? Well, a lot of the real work gets done in these informal, closed-door meetings called trilogues. This is where a few key people from the Commission, the Parliament, and the Council literally get in a room and hash things out. It's where the real horse trading happens, where they try to turn 3 different wish lists into one single document that everybody can, live with. You can pretty much picture it. You start with the Commission's original idea, then the Parliament makes its changes, the Council makes its changes, and in those trilogue meetings, they go through it line by line, merging all those different positions until, finally, they have a single joint text that everyone has shaken hands on. And here's the kicker. This system of finding a compromise, it works. That 90% you see there, that's roughly how much of all EU legislation gets agreed upon in the early stages, often right after these trilogues. It shows the whole system is built for agreement, not gridlock. All right, a compromise has been found. The law's passed. Everyone's happy. But the journey isn't quite over. Once a law is on the books, who makes sure that all 27 countries interpret it and apply it in the exact same way? And that brings us to the final, crucial player in this story, the Court of Justice of the European Union, or the CJEU. Based in Luxembourg, its job is basically to be the ultimate referee. It makes sure that when it comes to EU law, everyone is playing by the same rules. And over the years, this court has made some absolutely landmark rulings that have shaped the EU into what it is today. Principles like direct effect, which means that you, as a person, can go to your own national court and say, hey, this EU law gives me rights. Or the supremacy of EU law, which basically says if a national law and an EU law clash, the EU law wins. These principles are what makes the EU's legal system a real powerful thing. So there you have it. From a simple idea for a phone charger in the Commission, through the debates between the Parliament and the Council, all the way to the final word from the Court of Justice. The journey of an EU law is complex, for sure. It's a delicate dance of negotiation. But it's a system designed, at its core, to find agreement. Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Is it a perfectly tuned machine for compromise? Or is it a democratic puzzle that's still being figured out? That's something worth thinking about.